It's just funny.
They're all dead. They just don't know it yet. So much pressure. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite movies. It's right there. It's watching me. It's judging me. Welcome back to K3 TV. My name's LOKi, and today we're doing a retro movie review for one of my dearest movies, The Crow, in honor of Devil's Night. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. There are many reasons that The Crow is my favorite, or one of my favorite movies. It's one of the oldest comic book adaptation movies that was rated R, and I would say it's probably the oldest that was any good. 1994 is when this movie came out, and it definitely has that feel. It almost feels like a time capsule for that era, at least in the angsty, grungy type of feel of the early 90s. It has, I mean, not that I would know like the actual feel of it, however, you can really see it having its place in time with the gritty tone for the whole thing. It's dark gothic ambiance to it, and it's just so well done. Some might call it in a bit of a cheesy way, but honestly it's so true to the feel of the whole movie. None of it is taken too serious, but it is all consistent, and that's what I love about it. Down to the music, the color tone, which can get very bleak at times, but it's highlighted by certain aspects of the movie which are very highlighting and high impact, so it makes those parts really stand out. Explosions, things like that, gunfire, anything like that. The white face of Brandon Lee and the makeup that they chose to take from, of course, the comic book adaptation and alter it just a little bit, and then alter it again right here. This movie's dark tone and gritty atmosphere may seem like it's maybe just overindulgent or has no purpose at all, but honestly, to me, I've watched it so many times. There's been, behind the scenes things that I've watched and everything, and there's a lot of history behind the movie and a lot of curse talk and all that. One of the deepest things behind the scenes of the movie is the actual comic book writer actually went through the death of his loved one, of his partner. That was the inspiration behind the whole story in the first place. And I feel like this movie really does encapsulate pretty much the embodiment of depression and dealing with depression. Maybe it deals with it in this whole topic of revenge. Honestly, it also does see it as, with all the multiple quotes that it has about getting over things and how things will pass. It has a really deep message of just dealing with it on your own, even though it embodies it in a really go kill the people out there that did this to you or whatever. But it doesn't actually have to do with who did what and actually getting back at those people that wronged you. To me, it feels more like a message of, buck up, and it can't rain all the time, So if you haven't ever watched this movie, then that's something that you can definitely look forward to getting out of this movie. It's amazing, classic period piece, which is funny because it's only about 30 years ago. Oh my God, it's about to be 30 years. It's going to be 30 years in about, 4 years? Wow. Yeah, so it is going to be pretty much, it's pretty much, I can say that. It's a period piece. And I keep pointing over here. It's got so many classic lines. Fire it up, the intro one, it can't rain all the time. It's all a bunch of great stuff that was beautiful for our MySpaces back in the day. But in all seriousness, it's still holds up to this day. That's one of the main things that I would like to get across. Rest in peace to Brandon Lee. We don't know what kind of greatness he would have possibly done. That's also another thing that you guys might, you guys gotta probably know about. If you clicked on this, you probably already know about Brandon Lee. He did tragically pass away in the filming of this movie, so that's another great triumph that this movie had to go through. There's other movies like his father's that they had to continue after his death and during the filming, but the kind of recovery that they did with this one is insane. I mean, most of all of everything was already shot, but the reshots that they did are actually at the very beginning when they're doing the flashback to the previous Devil's Night that takes place in the movie. That whole fast forward, all this and that, and choppy shots, that was out of necessity to hide everything. So I mean, think of the genius right there. I mean, that actually made it look seamless. You can not really even tell that that was done out of necessity. It looks like it was actually part of the script and everything. So, in closing, everything in this movie has purpose here, whether it's a little bit of, comedy relief or anything like that. Nothing is really just dark and gratuitous or anything like that, just for the sake of it being like that, even though it is rated R. It's actually just to show the rawness of the whole thing. So I hope more movies come out like this, even in the modern day. Something that is akin to it is probably something like Logan. Something like that in recent days. That's another anti-hero type thing that is in the same vein as this. Just obviously not as dark, or not as much makeup, or probably more makeup. Either way, I definitely think this stands the test of time, and it's going to be around for a long time. You still see people. I saw someone last night at a place for a Halloween party with the Crow makeup. I actually saw 2 people, and I'm going to be that same person tomorrow night on the Devil's Night itself. This is filmed the day before. Good luck with that. So thank you so much for watching K3 TV. I hope you enjoyed this retro review. I'm looking forward to doing maybe more of these, so definitely let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought of this one. Like and subscribe, and it can't rain all the time.